So based on what you've learned, so I've tested the kids, I've gone through, I've recognized this student is a 1B reader. Then on my dashboard, that lets me come over, and again, I'm going to open that student. He's going to be in read to me because they all are with no data. I'm going to scroll over to a 1B reader. The program's going to load, and now I am in his or her account. What I notice and what teachers commonly notice is right here is the overview. That's the page that we're in. We need to be in entry requirements, which is just one tab down in order to start seeing the pieces of the IRLA we're looking for. So here is the very first test. If you notice on this, we have reading comprehension right up here where we're going to do that cold read. Then if we scroll down, here's onset and rhyme, one-syllable words, reads tricky words, all these things she showed us in the demo, but they can be difficult to navigate on the screen. So up on the top, right up here, is our click path, and it's showing us that we're in IRLA, Common Core Standards for 1B, and that's really important that we always stay in that. So what most teachers do is we click in here to cold reads. Then we go down and we say, okay, which of these 4 stories would you like to read? And remember, the kids get to pick it. So maybe I'm going to say, Are You My Mother? Then in here, I have Start Cold Read. This pulls up my text. From here, I can click on the errors in their words, and it'll calculate for me, and I can go up here to save and close. Commonly, teachers think, like, how does it start a timer, or do I have to click on the first word to start it? But it seems at this point that what we're seeing is it just records them. So every time you do save and close, it just records what they're doing. So allow yourself to just know that it is recording them, it is assessing them without having to hit start on it. Then after they do the cold read, you close that screen out and you come under, and you're going to answer these questions with the student, right? So what's happening in this story? Then over here on this side, you can see if you click down on here, there's different point calculations, and this is how it is scoring the student. If for some reason you're seeing something weird or you have questions, this little blue tab exists on every screen, and it's for technical questions. You can send it in and say like, oh, I'm not seeing my points calculate, or I'm not seeing what's going on with the student. This is a nice little help feature. Scrolling back up, so typically people get here and they say, okay, I did the cold read and the questions, now what do? Scroll all the way back up, and again, you want to find this IRLA Common Core Standards 1B page because we clicked and opened cold reads, and we need to go back to that main dashboard. Now I'm in here, I've scored my cold read. I would come over here, did a student read it with 98% proficiency? I can do yes, or I can do no if they haven't done it, and it'll allow the points to calculate for that kid. And then we scroll down and we go into the next one. So if you're following your book, if we go back to the book, sometimes what I've found helpful is when I get really confused, if I look at the paper copy, it does help me understand what parts of the test to do next. So if I went into 1B, if I went into 1B, right here, read and comprehend an unfamiliar text is the exact same category we saw right here on the dashboard, read and comprehend an unfamiliar text. Then I know the next one down is manipulate onset and rhymes. So then when I go back to that IRLA, that page on it, right underneath it, manipulates onset and rhymes. Over here gets a little messy. There's lots of things to click on, but you always want to click on this green check mark. Chunking and checking, so onset rhymes, chunking and checking. I open that up. Again, here's a copy of my text, entering 1B chunking check, and here becomes that word list where I can click through. Every one a kid gets, you actually click on, which is kind of counterintuitive. Most people think that you click on the ones they miss, but you're actually going to click on all the ones they get correct, and it automatically saves it. If you come down here, this save button won't light up because it's asking you to save your comments. But no, if you click on anything in here, it's keeping data on it, even though it doesn't always look like it. And then again, I go back up here to the IRLA Common Core Standards 1B because I want to go back into that dashboard. And then I go to the next one. So decode onset, same thing. Green check mark, gonna get evidence on this kid, gonna click on the one, and then here again, I'm gonna have him just read for me straight down. These pages are also represented right here in your manual. So those are your 4 cold reads. Then I'm going here to my 1B entry. Here's my chunking check that we just saw online. Here is my 1-syllable decoding check that we see mimicked. So here's call and here's call. I can check it for the kid. So this paper guide helps you kind of keep track of where you're at if you're stuck, but know that keeping all the data in here just allows it to export much quicker, and you don't have to try to keep track of things in both ways. One thing we noticed yesterday, and we emailed right away when we were testing at a different school, is the points weren't calculating because, and here especially, like I couldn't get it to click ready for 1B, but what we knew from what we know from talking to the trainers now is this isn't always going to work because you're in just like the getting ready demo part. They also sent in a help ticket to see if to the techs at IRLA to see if we could figure it out. But what the trainer told me, Michelle, she said come all the way back out to your classroom, and then you should see, and again, mine's a demo, so it's weird, but you should see student 11 that we tested, you should see their information starting to update right here. And we saw that in classrooms, even though that button wasn't working yesterday. So that's a quick overview. We'll send out a formal overview very, very soon.